Hello and welcome to the AutoCAD Essentials. I am Prabhakaran, Autodesk Certified Associate with you. This is our session number 6. We are in the discussion of point fixing method. This is the second method called relative method. Already we discussed there are 3 methods are there. So last session we discussed about absolute method of point fixing. Now we are going to discuss about the relative method of point fixing. What is meant by relative method? We are going to fix the new point with relation to the previous point. This is called relative method. Okay. The rule in this relative method is at the rate of x distance and y distance. Now this picture will give the clear idea about the relative method. We are going to fix the point number 2. Already we have point number 1. So the new point is point 2. What is the distance of point 2 from the point 1? This is called the relative method. This picture shows that, so from P1 to P2, what is the x distance, what is the y distance? If you specify, you will get the new point. This is called relative method. At the rate in the sense from the previous point. That means we are going to take the reference from the last given point or previously given points. Okay, right. Now we are going to discuss detailedly about what is this x distance and y distance. Let us take an example of horizontal line having 40 mm length. Okay, so what is the x distance of this line and the y distance of this line? By seeing the line itself, we can say it is exactly horizontal line. So x distance will be 40, y distance will be 0. Similarly, if you take a vertical line, some distance around 20. What is the x distance of this line? Will be 0. Y distance will become 20. Now you can observe that x line means y distance will become 0. If it is a y direction line means x becomes 0. Suppose if you have an inclined line, which will become 0? X distance will become 0 or y will become 0 or both will become 0. What is it? Maybe both will not become 0, both will have some distance. So this is what we have seen from this diagram. If it is an inclined line, some x distance will be there, some y distance will be there. That based on the second point and first point. Okay, right. Now you may have some doubt how this exactly x line will have 40, y becomes 0. Similarly, here how this y distance become 20, x becomes 0. In the similar way, the inclined line, how it is having some distance. Let us discuss detailedly because this is very important related to the point fixing method. Now, take the first line. So, this is a point number 1, point number 2. The distance between the point 1 and 2 is 40, we know that. Imagine, so this line we are drawing on the graph sheet. What is the distance? What is the gap between the point 1 and 2? In x direction, it will be a 40 mm. What is the gap between point 1 and point 2 in y direction? There is no gap between point 1 and 2 in y direction because point 1 and 2, it has same y values. Okay, that is why here we get x distance 40, y distance 0. Similarly, take the vertical line, just draw this vertical line on the graph sheet. Okay, now you can observe that point 1 and point 2 has the same x value, but point 1 and 2 has a two different y values. So the difference between point 1 and 2, it is in the y direction. There is no difference in x direction. That is why the x distance of the vertical line becomes 0. The y distance of the vertical line becomes some value. Okay. The similar way, if you draw this inclined line in the graph, you will get the idea. Point 1 and 2 has some gap in the x coordinate. Similarly, some gap in the y coordinate. That is why x distance some value, y distance some value we are getting. So from this idea, we can able to draw any inclined line by calculating the x distance, y distance of the points s. Okay, right. Let me take the same example what we discussed in the absolute method. Okay, why I am taking the same example means any method you choose, the drawing should come in the same size, in the same location. Are we getting the same rectangle or not? We are going to confirm it. Okay, right. So now this is a rectangle, it has 4 points. Let me take the first point, 10, 20. As I said before, relative method has at the rate of x distance, y distance. Here I cannot use at. Why? Because at the rate, if I am going to use, I should have some points before that. This is my first point. I don't have any point before the first. So that means it must be some absolute points. So 10, 20. Okay, right. So now my second point. So before going to give the second point, so I have to calculate the x distance, y distance between the point 1 and 2. We know that this is 40 mm x. So what is the x distance of the second point, y distance of the second point? It will be x40, y0, right? Now, in the similar way, I am going to fix the third point. With reference to the second point, what is the x distance, y distance of the point number 3 at 0, 20. Okay. Similarly, I am going to fix the point number 4. Okay. So, now I am going to calculate the point number 4 with reference to the point number 3. The x distance is 40 mm, the y distance is 0. But see the direction and what directions we are going. If you go in a negative x direction, you should specify the values in negative. Okay. So here I am going to specify at minus 40, 0. Minus 40 at the x distance, it says that 40 mm in the direction of minus x. Okay. Right. In the similar way, now I have to complete the rectangle. So I have to draw a line from point 4 to 1. So my next point is point 1. So from 4 to 1, what is the distance? It is a y direction line. So x becomes 0, y becomes 20. Now we are moving downward. That means towards negative y direction. So I have to specify that. Okay. Now I am going to give at the rate of 0, minus 20. Only negative numbers we will specify negative symbols. All other numbers are understand that it is a positive value. So positive means positive directions, negative means negative directions. So second method we have to understand directions also. That's all. Okay. Now I open the AutoCAD. As usual, first we have to set the limits. Okay. Set the limits, lower left corner 0, 0, upper right corner 420, 297. Already I have 420, 297. So no need to change anything. Just press enter. Immediately give zoom all. Okay. Now as usual, first let me try using the absolute method. So line, the first point is 10, 20. My second point is absolute method 50, 20. Then 50, 40, then 10, 40. Just to see here, I have drawn this line using absolute method. Okay. Now I am going to draw the same rectangle using relative method. Let me check whether I am getting the same rectangle or not. Okay. So I am going to change the color. Okay. Let me change the thickness also. Okay. Now line, first point as usual 10, 20. See now it is taking the same point 10, 20. Now I am going to use at the rate. That means shift press the number 2. So at the rate you will get x distance is 40, y distance is 0. See now I got the line. Similarly at x becomes 0, y become 20. See there I got exactly. At x 40, 0. What I did now? I did a small mistake now. What happened? The line came on right side. So it has to come in left side only. What is the mistake I did? I did not give negative direction. I give 40. That means positive direction. So towards positive x, it has went to 40 mm. I have to correct it. How to correct? So that is why we have options here. Close, undo. Undo means we can go one step back. So just use U, enter. So one step back I went. Now I am going to give at minus 40, 0. Again at x is 0, minus 20. Okay, finish. See here, I got the same rectangle over the absolute method of rectangle. So any method you use, you will get the same object. No need to worry. Okay, right. Let us make the comparison between absolute method versus relative method. Both the method we are drawing the same rectangle. So both the rectangle should be identical. Okay, right. So what is the difference then? So first method, absolute method, all the points are referred from the origin. That means from the 0, 0. We have calculated point 1 from 0, 0 is how much? Point 2 from 0, 0, what is x and y? Point 3 from 0, 0, what is x and y? That is called absolute method. But relative method, first point we will take as we like, x coordinate, y coordinate, except from the first point, all other points are referred from the previous point. Okay, so why I am showing the differences here? In the rectangle, we have only 4 points. So 4 points means calculating from the origin, reference from the previous, it will be same. But if you go to the real engineering drawing, there are a lot of points will be there. There are a lot of vertices will be there. We need to calculate every points from the reference of origin. That is absolute method. Any x or y value becomes wrong. All other points after that what you are giving become wrong only. So that is why to avoid such a mistakes, the relative method will be little easy because all the drawings will have the measurements. Based on the measurements, easily we can calculate. But in absolute method, measurements will be there. Based on the measurement, what is the each vertices, each points from the origin we need to calculate. But here the calculation is very simple. Just by seeing the measurement, we are going to take x means x value, y becomes 0. Y means y value, x becomes 0. That's all. Okay, right. So comparing to the absolute method, relative method little bit easy. Okay, right. Using this idea, I'm going to give you some exercise now. Using this relative method, we're going to draw a similar exercise. So it has nearly 10 points. Imagine we have only absolute method, means the 10 points need to be calculated from the origin. But now we have a relative method, only x and y distance are needed. All the lines are only x and y only. Just we have the measurements for all the lines. First see this horizontal line 1 to 2, x 75, y 0. 2 to 3, x 0, y 10. 3 to 4, we are moving towards negative x direction. So minus 20, x, y becomes 0. Similarly, we are going to find out because each line we know the distance. Okay. So now we are going to draw these lines using the x distance, y distance. Okay. Right. So line starting point is 10, 10. So from here at x is 75, 0. From here at x becomes 0. Y will become 10 mm positive. From there, I have to move the line towards minus x direction of 20 mm. So minus 20, 0. At x 0, vertical line. So how much? Positive 10. Okay. At minus 20, 0. At x is 0, y become 10. Okay. At the rate towards minus x direction 20 mm and y becomes 0. At the rate x becomes 0, y positive 10 mm. From there at x becomes minus 15 mm, y becomes 0. Then I have to come down how much distance? At x is 0, y become minus 40 mm. So I got the object. You see here, except first point, all other points I gave x distance, y distance of the each point from the previous points. Okay, right. Similarly, I am going to give you some exercise. So this exercise you are going to try with relative methods only. The starting point I did not give. You can choose any point as a start point. You can continue there. Okay, right. Similarly, you can draw this also using the relative method. Here also I did not give start points. So first you choose the leftmost corner as a start point. Then the same drawing you draw using the rightmost corner as a start point. So you can feel the difference, how to calculate the x distance and y distance. Okay, right. So this is the end of session 6. Next session we are going to discuss about the third point fixing method called polar method. Thank you.